Okay, so for your Cornell notes this week, I asked you these various questions. You were supposed to watch videos on the preterite and the imperfect and on the imperfect in order to answer them. So actions and emotions with definite beginnings and endings are written in which tense, preterite or the imperfect? You should have selected the preterite. Words like ayer, anteayer, and la semana pasada usually signal the use of which tense? Again, that should have been the preterite. Words like siempre, a menudo, mientras, de niño usually signal the use of what tense? That's usually the imperfect. These are words that imply repetition, and those go with the imperfect. Does the past progressive ing use the preterite or the imperfect? That should be the imperfect. When you are in the middle of doing something and then get interrupted, into what tense do you usually conjugate the interruption? That should be the preterite. When expressing used to be, do you use the preterite or the imperfect? You would use the imperfect. When talking about something repeatedly done in the past, do you use the preterite or the imperfect? If you repeatedly did it, you use the imperfect. Okay. When giving the hour, which tends to use the preterite or the imperfect, you use the imperfect when you tell what time it is. When you give the hour, it is, oopsies. It is 1 o'clock, or I'm sorry, it was 1 o'clock, it was 2 o'clock, you use the imperfect. Which tense do you use when setting up the background for a story? You use the imperfect. How do you conjugate ser in the imperfect tense? It should have been yo era, tú eras. Hold on a minute, let me actually take this out. In a minute. So it'd be yo era, tú eras. For él, ella, usted, that would also be era. For nosotros, that would be éramos. For vosotros, that would be erais. And for ustedes, ellos, ellas, it should be eran. Okay. And then how do you conjugate ir? That would be for yo, it would be iba. Tú ibas. For usted, él, ella, that would be iba. For nosotros or nosotras, that would be íbamos. Vosotros, vosotras, that would be ibais. And for ustedes, ellos, ellas, that would be iban. And bear would be yo veía, tú veías, usted, él, ella veía, nosotros, nosotras veíamos, vosotros, vosotras veíais, and ustedes, ellos, ellas veían. Okay, what are the endings for AR in the imperfect? Let me take this all out so I can write. What are the AR endings? Those would be For yo, that would be aba. For tú, you have abas. For usted, él, and ella, you would have aba. For nosotros, nosotras, you would have habamos. For vosotros, vosotras, you would have habáis. And for ustedes, ellos, ellas, you would have haban. And then for ERs and IRs, they would be the same. You would have yo, it would be ia, tú, ellas, usted, él, ella, you would have ia. For nosotros, nosotras, you would have íamos. For vosotros, vosotras, you would have íais. And for ustedes, ellos, and ellas, you would have ian. And for the last question, how many irregular verbs are there in the imperfect tense? These are the only ones, so there's only 3 of them.